Welcome to World at Work TV. I'm Allison Avalos, and I'm here with Leonard Sanicola talking about the use of technology and social media in health engagement. Lenny, let's start off by talking about what exactly we mean by health engagement.
Well, Allison, engagement means a lot of different things, but for purposes of this discussion, health engagement really is about getting an individual to take action to stay healthy. So it's about impacting and influencing employee and dependent behavior to make sure that they are being educated and using that informed decision making to make better healthcare choices for they and their family. And this could be anything from what medical plan do I enroll in through my employer-sponsored plan. It could be what type of doctor I need to see, what level or type of treatment. It could be around weight management, proper nutrition, and exercise. At the end of the day, really health engagement is really about getting an employee or an individual to be active and proactive around their health care as opposed to being a passive consumer.
Okay, so how prevalent then is the use of social media and technology in trying to encourage and motivate health engagement?
Prevalence is definitely growing. Most of the research shows that it's really been in the employee wellness space where we've seen a lot of the growth, but we've also seen the tools used by organizations as they've migrated to consumer-driven healthcare plans where the employee and their family have more accountability, including financial, around their healthcare choices. So definitely we are seeing a growth. Many organizations, in fact, are starting to incorporate social media into their healthcare plan design and communication strategies.
Why should an employer consider the use of social media when trying to build health engagement?
Social media, like print or any other form of communication, really represents a medium in which to increase one's education and communication efforts. So it's really another tool in the toolbox. So, whether it's social networking sites like Facebook and LinkedIn or Twitter or technologies or like mobile applications or texting, all of these tools are being used by consumers on a personal level, on a daily basis. So it's really appropriate for an employer to leverage these tools since employees are used to receiving information through social media. It's a great way to engage employees, typically can be very low cost. It's a great way to communicate with your workforce or try to engage them year-round. It's an especially helpful tool for communicating to the younger workforce because they grew up with technology and they are used to it and are comfortable around it. A lot of the research shows that social media can increase employee participation in benefit programs and increase employee engagement.
Okay, so you mentioned the research and you've talked about the prevalence growing. What else do we know about the practice of using technology and social media and health engagement from research?
Well, there's lots of research, and in fact, WorldatWork and Buck Consulting conducted a research not too long ago on this very topic. And the survey really focused on three types of platforms: gamification, mobile application, and social networking tools. The survey showed that gamification was the most prevalent, and the respondents indicated the most effective in getting employees to take certain actions around their health or increase or change to certain behaviors. Now, gamification, for those that don't know what that is, it's basically using game-like features in a non-game setting. So employing things like lotteries and leaderboards and point systems and things along that nature. Mobile apps, as far as a platform, the survey respondents showed that they weren't as prevalent as games, but the expectation was that was going to really increase. And that's probably due to the fact that a lot of folks have smartphones today and easy access. Social networking tools were used by about 50% of the respondents, and the concerns around that was around the privacy and the confidentiality of information. Another survey by ShapeUp and Context Communications revealed that over 90% of their respondents either saw technology as improving the employee's perception of their wellness efforts or actually improving their participation in their wellness efforts or just overall health engagement. There was an improvement.
So what are some of the challenges in using social media in this way?
Most of the research indicates three top barriers for employers: lack of a budget, lack of management support, or just not having a good way to measure the effectiveness. Other surveys have indicated privacy and confidentiality concerns, as well as a fear of using technology, and that is a barrier both from an employer and an employee perspective.
Are we seeing that change as more and more users become comfortable with social media as well as organizations that they represent?
Definitely. Again, going back to the point that a lot of these tools are being used in people's personal lives, and employees are used to receiving information in that format. Definitely a lot of those fears are going away. And in fact, to the earlier point about the younger generation, they just grew up only with technology as being their main source of communication. So they're very much used to it.
So what are some suggestions for employers who are just starting to dabble in social media, really looking at leveraging social media going forward for health engagement?
Great question. The first thing that I would say at the top of the list is you have to understand your workforce demographics, and you have to connect with your employees in terms of how they prefer to receive information. So you have to choose the tool, the engagement tool that's going to resonate most with them. Do a focus group, do a quick survey, find out what their preferences and comfort level is around receiving information. It's interesting, in the WorldatWork Buck survey, 2/3 of respondents indicated that they had never done such a focus group or survey before they headed into the use of social media. So I would say definitely find out what resonates best with your employees in terms of how to engage with them. Second, I would say remember, social media is not a replacement for other forms of media. It's an add-on, okay? It's another tool in the toolbox, like I said earlier. So just remember that. I would also say, try to test it, pilot it, test it with a small group or workforce segment, get feedback, choose some narrow tools and test those, whether that's an intranet or an internal blog. At the end of the day, you need to test and find what works best for your organization. And that goes to partnering. If you choose to partner with a service provider or select a platform, make sure that that organization that you're working with truly understands your culture, your workforce demographics, and what your objectives are in using social media for engagement purposes.
This has been quite helpful, Lenny. Thank you.
Very welcome.
For WorldatWork TV, I'm Allison Avalos.